Welcome to the first ever MWG weather video. This channel is going to be dedicated to any weather topics that I want to talk about. And right now, that's Tropical Storm Franklin. Late last night, Tropical Storm Franklin made landfall somewhere in the Yuncatan Peninsula at around 70 miles per hour. Tropical Storm Franklin didn't make it to that hurricane status, but hurricane watches was still posted up for the area where Franklin made landfall, and there was tropical storm warning all around the Yuncatan Peninsula in Mexico. But since then, it's been about 8 hours since landfall, and Tropical Storm Franklin is still looking great. It's looking very well organized. You got all the convection near the center of circulation, and it's over land. So really it should just be dying, but really it's keeping itself together strong. So as soon as it goes into the Gulf of Mexico, it should start to regain steam fast. In the beginning, I thought Franklin was gonna reach hurricane status before it made landfall the first time, but that didn't happen. It was so close, but I think it's gonna happen the second time. The National Hurricane Center predicts it to be 70 miles per hour right before the second landfall in Mexico, but I predict that's gonna be the first ever hurricane in this 2017 Atlantic hurricane season. But right now, let's take a look at Tropical Storm Franklin. It's about halfway through its journey through the Yucatan Peninsula right now, and it's looking great. It's at 45 miles per hour, but it's at 999 millibars. And that 999 millibars signals how strong Franklin still is. It's not having the winds because it's going over land. It still has low enough pressure so that when it gets right over the water again, it's gonna regain steam and start to develop even further than ever before for Franklin. But right now, the winds aren't really reaching 45 miles per hour. That's just the high end on the winds. The winds are more like 20 to 30 because it's over land. But once that gets over water, woo, those winds are gonna get high. Tropical Storm Franklin looks great right now. It's already halfway through its first landfall journey, and it's looking like it's gonna survive it greatly. As soon as it landed, I was kind of worried for a second that I was starting to deteriorate really fast, just like Tropical Storm Emily did. Tropical Storm Franklin is holding together perfectly. Tropical Storm Franklin is projected to make its second landfall in Mexico on early morning on Thursday. Like I said before, the National Hurricane Center is predicting 70 miles per hour winds, but I'm saying it's probably going to get into that Category 1 status. And what's steering Franklin into two landfalls in Mexico is this high pressure sitting right in Texas that is circulating Franklin right into Mexico 2 times. As always, with any tropical system, it's gonna bring a lot of rain, but it's especially gonna bring a lot of rain on its second landfall, because right when it landfalls the second time, you have a huge Mexico mountain rain that's gonna tear apart Franklin and bring all the rain out with it. The rain totals are definitely going to be more on the second landfall than the first. And because Franklin's going to be stronger the second time. Who isn't stronger the second time? But Franklin has a lot to work with. There's very low shear to deteriorate Franklin at all. And Franklin is in the very warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. You got water temperatures ranging far above 83 degrees, which is far perfect for any tropical system. That's it about Franklin. But there's one other tropical system out there, and that is Invest 99L. Invest 99L was looking to be a very strong tropical wave coming off the coast of Africa, but that was last week, and since that week, wind shear has just been tearing up this storm, and it's looking like a little speck right now, if I'm gonna be honest. But the conditions are not favorable right now, but they will be in the near future. 99L is gonna track northwest, and that's gonna lead it to the Bahamas, where conditions are gonna be more favorable with those definitely warm waters of the Gulf Stream and near the Gulf of Mexico. So those waters are gonna be hot. The wind shear is not gonna be as much. Franklin's still gonna have better conditions, but 99L has a 30% chance of developing according to the National Hurricane Center. It's looking like that chance is gonna have 30%. 33% of the time it's gonna form. 1 out of 3. If it doesn't form, or if it does, it's gonna head off into the Carolinas, or maybe take that crescent moon route and curve back and go out into the Atlantic Sea and die. Those are the 2 options right now: go into the Carolinas or die in the Atlantic Ocean. That's all for this tropical update, and I'll see you in the next one.